Hello lovelies, I'm Christina and today I'm giving you my review of The Vegetarian by Han Kang. The Vegetarian is published by Portobello Books and it is 183 pages long and is also the Man Booker International Prize winner. The premise of the story for The Vegetarian is set in South Korea and we follow the story about a woman who decides because of recurring nightmares to go vegetarian. This story is split into three parts. You have one that is the perspective of her husband, the second is the perspective of her husband-in-law, and the third one is the perspective of her sister. And we get a few glimpses into her perspective, mostly explanations of what her dreams looks like. But other than that, the whole novel goes through other perspectives than a woman that turns into a vegetarian. I thought that the way The Vegetarian was built up was a really interesting way to go, especially splitting the story up in three parts and having them look at the same person but at different stages of time. They each go... It's being meant well there. So the first one from the husband goes from the time that she decides to become a vegetarian. The husband is really an obnoxious character. He is violent, he rapes her, and he just has no understanding of her choice, and he's a very selfish person that doesn't really care to know the reasons why she chooses as she chooses. Through him we get a very selfish look on the choice that she has made. The second part with her sister-in-law, he is a filmmaker who hasn't really made anything in a long while, and then he finds inspiration in his sister-in-law and her weird choice. So he uses her as his new project and wants to film her, and at the same time he also gets really emotionally attached to her and is very lustful for her for various reasons. And this story where the brother-in-law comes in is about 2 years after she actually made her choice, and the third part as well is 2 years after the happenings with the brother-in-law, and then we see the perspective of the sister, and she is a very much more unselfish look on things and blames herself a lot for a lot of things that happened previous in the story. Going into this book, I thought it was actually going to be more about the social acceptance of vegetarianism, or she's actually going vegan in this book because she doesn't eat or drink dairy or eggs or anything like that either. But the story, even though it touches a little bit on that, is not really about that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it just wasn't what I expected, and that could be my own fault for not really doing my research before I read this one. That being said, I don't regret reading this at all, and from what I got from reading the book, I thought that it was more a story about personal choice and about acceptance. And it is also very touching on mental illness and what sanity really is, because the way that you see this woman portrayed between different kinds of characters and her illness or choice is really fascinating and scary and brutal, and it makes for a very interesting read. And Han Kang writes beautifully. The Vegetarian was translated by Deborah Smith, and I think she has done an amazing job. It is very fluently and poetically written. It is beautiful, and this has really gotten me interested in other works. I know there's another book by her that's been translated into English, and that is Human Acts. You can see the cover right there if it focus. I'm definitely gonna check that one out and see if it grabs me as much as this one did. This could easily become one of my favorite reads of 2016. I really loved it. It was short, hard to put down, very different from anything else I've ever read, but just a very unique and special experience. And of course I end up giving this a 5 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read this book or have any thoughts around this. I would love to hear it and discuss it with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video soon. Bye!